Not every Latina identifies as black.
Racist Latinos do not identify with being black because they was told by their parents that they are better than you. They look down on you. They think you're not going to be anything in life. This is what they think when they see you outside. They think, hey, they're not going to be nothing. Don't hang out with them. They think if they discriminate and be racist towards you, that white people are going to accept them. And that's where it's coming from. It has been taught by their parents. They don't want to be black. This is why it's mind-boggling. I keep hearing black people say black and brown. Even black celebrities and rappers. Black and brown? Oh, you kidding me? What have brown people done for black people?
Here lies the problem. There are Latin women and Hispanic women who talk about, oh, I'm Latin this, I'm Hispanic that, I stand for my people, la raza, blah, 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 blah. And then they are against black people. They're against things black people do. They show their racism, but then they want to be black when they want to be black when it benefits them. Okay? So not everybody that's a Latin person or Hispanic person identifies as black. A lot of them fake the funk just to fit in where they can get in. However, my original post referred to the Latin women holding off on doing their follow train and let the black women do what they need to do. And for very obvious reasons. Now, people are going to do what they want to do. And if somebody feels some type of way about it, hey, that's on them. That's not on me. But here lies what doesn't make sense. If you identify as a Latina and you want to start a Latina follow train, when do you become a black person too? Because if a black person, if black women are having the black girls follow train, then, and you identify as black, then you should be doing the train, following that train, right? But Latin women want to start their own. So are these just straight Latin women that don't identify as black or have no kind of black ancestry? You get what I'm saying?
Black people stay hating on Latinos. Is it jealousy? No. Jealousy? What? Jealous of what? There are black Latinos, so what is your point?
This comment reminds me of an incident that happened to me when I studied abroad in Ecuador for a couple of months, and oof. There were a lot of race-related things that happened to me on this trip because I was the only black person and one of only, I think, 3 people of color on this trip. 3? Actually, now that I think about it, it was me. There was a girl who was a Mexican. There was a guy there who was Puerto Rican. And the only other minority there was a white liberal lesbian. But I digress. The story's not about them. While I was studying abroad, I wasn't like doing it on my own or, like it was through the school, but we had host parents. And I got paired with a really sweet older lady, and her name was Irlanda. Loved her. Absolutely loved her. She was marvelous. But I do remember one of our very first conversations that we had when I got there, and it was about my boyfriend. She had asked if I had somebody back home, and I showed her a picture. At this time, I was dating someone who was biracial. His mother was black, his father was Indian, and he was about my skin complexion. I showed her the picture, and she looks at him, and then she looks at me. She looks back at the picture, and then she's like, no. And I'm confused. I'm like, what? Like, why would she say something like that? She then tells me that she thinks he's really handsome, but that I can't marry him and that I can't have babies with him because, and please don't come at my Spanish. My Spanish isn't as good as it used to be. But she said, mejorar la raza or mejorando la raza. And I was so confused because at the time my Spanish was good. That was the whole point of me studying abroad, was that it was going to be my minor. And what she had said, literally translated in my head, was better the race. And I was confused as to why she would say something like that to me or what it even meant. And so I asked her for clarity. She broke it down and basically explained to me that because he was a dark-skinned man and that I was a dark-skinned woman, that we shouldn't be together because it would then produce dark-skinned children, and that wouldn't be advantageous to me.
So you heard her say the Spanish lady who she was with. When she showed the lady the picture of her boyfriend, who was basically black, she said black and Indian, but he has to look more black, for the lady to say what she said. Mejor la raza. Better the race. But that lady has some nerves to tell her something like that. Because they don't want to have children with black people. This is taught to all of them. So if you live in a Latino neighborhood, or Latino live in your neighborhood, you have to know that. They have been told not to mix with you, not to breed with you or have children, because it's holding back the race. And a Latina girl told me that. Remember I told you the other Latina girl told me what her father said about black guys? They in gangs, they don't take care of their kids, they don't like to work. That same Latina told me also that her parents told her, when you date a black person, it brings the family down, okay? And when you date a white person, it brings the family up. That's what she told me, the same girl. Like, it makes you look bad. It brings the family down. It holds you back. When they date black guys, she said that's why her parents told her not to do it. To only mix with her own or white.
And y'all know, you know the sound like the nigga was too stunned to speak. I mean, I just stared at her because she was not a fair-skinned woman. And I couldn't believe that she was saying something like that to me. But after she said that, I noticed the way that I was experiencing Ecuador and the way that my peers were experiencing Ecuador were like two completely different experiences, night and day, night and day. And the sad part is, if I'm being very honest with myself, this was definitely foreshadowing for what was to come not years, actually, probably 8 months later, when I ended up dating the guy who was Puerto Rican and told me that he couldn't talk to me anymore because his family was not going to accept the fact that he was dating a black woman. Colonization really did a number on everybody.
The anti-blackness is the real pandemic globally. That's the biggest issue. And these people who don't have melanin or have a little bit of melanin that want to support white supremacy, it's because they're weak. So they try to look for power somewhere else. But anytime you think that you are better than somebody else because you have less pigment, like, you're weak as fuck. Like, stop with the inferiority complex. Like, what is wrong with you?
Does it surprise you that California's largest racial bias cases are of Latino employees discriminating against and abusing black employees? So this is what's happening. The LA Times reports that black employees were being called the N-word, having bananas waved at them, and subject to other intolerable work conditions at the hands of their Latino supervisors and peers. One black man even experienced night terrors and was diagnosed with PTSD after the racism he experienced. But it also went beyond insults. Latino supervisors would needlessly fire black employees and or pass them up for roles for less experienced Latino employees. And recently, similar incidents occurred at a UCLA hospital, a Century Valley vegetable farm, and a San Diego college. According to the article, one LA attorney said that 20 years ago, the feeling was that minorities could not be discriminated against each other. But in answer to my original question, the article also points out that anti-black prejudice in Latino-dominated workplaces comes as no surprise to scholars of race relations due to a shared legacy of slavery and racial prejudice in the US and Latin America.
Now that lady you see in this video, she is from Spain. She's a Spaniard. And basically she's going to let the Latinos know that she don't care about slavery and she's not going to apologize. So this is a real Spaniard person. She's going to let you know that she don't care about them. And this is the problem. This is where the problem lies with racist Latinas and racist Indians. These Latinas, they've been colonized, enslaved, and had their culture destroyed by the Spaniards, the Spain, right? But a Latina would still sleep with a Spaniard guy from Spain and an Indian female, you know, that dot on her forehead. She would still sleep with a British guy from the UK. They don't have a problem with them, the people who destroyed their culture. But they have a problem with black people who've done nothing to them. So they won't date a black guy when black people didn't colonize them, didn't destroy their culture, and gave them a bastard language. But your parents could tell you to be racist to black people and don't date black guys, but it's okay for you to date your oppressor and slave masters? You Latinas and Indians are some dumb hoes. It's supposed to be the other way around. You're supposed to have a problem with the people who done something to you, not black people. Black people ain't do nothing to your culture.
That happened 500 years ago. I am 30 years old. I am not responsible for that. Ergo, I'm not apologizing. Question. Japan got not one, but two nuclear blasts. And they're like super developed country. What's your excuse? What's the excuse of Latin America? Because what happened to them was 500 years ago. The gold that we stole, I'm still waiting on my share
Sure you
because
are.
I never got anything.
Wow.
I'm fighting with Dominican TikTok again. The way that some of y'all cape for y'all Spanish colonizer is fucking embarrassing. It's giving very Stockholm syndrome. But that's okay, because school is in session. And yes, I'm Dominican, and I'm gonna need my people to be a little smarter than this woman right here. She claims that the laws of Burgos guaranteed rights to indigenous people before anyone else in the West. Let's read what happened during the laws of Burgos. The laws of Burgos are the first legal code in the Americas directing Spaniards to read aloud a religious justification and demand of obedience from the native populations, known as el requerimiento. The law gives native peoples a chance to submit before being attacked or enslaved, but this is an impossible task since natives do not speak Spanish, and thus the Spaniards continue to enslave and seize indigenous lands. It required that indigenous people acknowledge the church as the ruler and superior of the whole world. But if you do not do this and maliciously make delay in it, I certify to you that with the help of God, we shall powerfully enter into your country and shall make war against you and in all ways and manners that we can, and shall subject you to the yoke and obedience of the church and of their highnesses. But wait, there's more. We shall take you and your wives and your children and shall make slaves of them, and as such shall sell and dispose of them as their highnesses may command. And we shall take away your goods and shall do you all the mischief and damage that we can. As to the vassals who do not obey and refuse to receive the Lord and contradict him, and we protest that the deaths and losses that accrue from this are your fault and not that of your highnesses or ours. You literally cannot make this shit up. There are so many things that you could be, but I'm gonna need you to be for real. The Spaniards were never benevolent to indigenous people or enslaved Africans. They were violent. They were violent. I'll say this again. They were violent. So initially, we didn't voluntarily mix in Latin America and in the Caribbean, especially not in Dominican Republic, where it all began. So what did we learn today, kiddos? Yes. Before I open my mouth on TikTok, I should shut up and read a book. Que tenga un buen día.
Man, this is coming from a bald-headed, tatted Mexican. It's nothing but love. Nowadays, if people are small-minded, it don't matter what color you are. That needs to be kept to the back. Keep that negativity to the side. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the things that made you feel that way. As far as I'm concerned, it's nothing but love. It's progress over pedo all day. It's progress over bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever been in a situation where somebody was talking about you in another language, but the entire fucking time they didn't realize that you speak that language? Yeah, that happens to me a lot. Now, I will preface this by saying I am half Mexican and I do speak Spanish fluently, but when I'm out in the world, people look at me and assume there's nothing Spanish speaking about this woman, as if people can't learn languages. Anyways, well, my favorite story is about a time that I went to McDonald's. I ordered a bunch of value burgers for my kids, but specifically 4 cheeseburgers plain, no condiments. But when I got home, I realized that those 4 plains had no meat on them. Thankfully, we're literally a block down the street from fucking McDonald's. So I go back. I have my burgers in my hand with the bag. It was busy. I stood to the side. I wasn't being rude. I've worked customer service. And besides, I know rudeness is counterproductive. All I said was, hey, I need to speak to a manager whenever you guys get a chance. I'm going to be standing right here. Okay, cool. Manager comes out, maybe no more than 5 minutes. Yes, how can I help you? I was like, yes, hi. I was here about 20 minutes ago, and I ordered about 10 value burgers, blah, blah, blah. Give her the gist. She goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Looks at the guy at the cashier, right? For the sake of the story, we'll call him Hector, okay? But she looks at him and says, Hector, ¿estás revisando la comida que sale antes que las envuelves? Hector says, sí, claro. She replies and says, ¿estás seguro? Porque esta señora me dijo que tú le diste hamburguesa sin carne. This little boy go look me up and down and tell her, te está mintiendo, nomás quiere comida gratis.
You see? Now take a look at the screen. What does that say? She is lying to you. She just wants free food. And you know why he said that? Because he thought she was black. You know, she's half black, but he didn't know that she knows Spanish. But he thought she was black. That's why he said that. He didn't know that she speaks Spanish. And her face looked black. Only the hair looks different, but the features on the face look black. This is something that they do to black people all the time, man. Okay, you gotta watch out for these people. When you around and they start speaking Spanish, man, just look at them. You can tell by the facial expression if they talking about you, man. You understand? If they look at you like, you know, like they have a problem with you and they talking to somebody else in Spanish, they talking about you, man. And that's why it's important. Black people should learn Spanish, man. And a lot of jobs, they require you to learn Spanish too. Because remember, America is catering to Spanish-speaking people. Now it's a requirement in America for you to speak Spanish, to get a job and to do certain things. I told you, they're not being oppressed. They're being favored.
You know what I did? You know what I did? First of all, I took a breath because I wanted to cuss him the fuck out. But I said to him in Spanish, el único que miente aquí eres tú. Es más, yo ni quiero mi comida gratis. Yo solamente quiero que me den mis hamburguesas como deben de ser. The look on his face. And of course, he ran away like a little coward that he was. The manager apologized, offered me the refund. I didn't want the refund. I just wanted my food. But I guarantee you, he'll think twice before doing that shit again.
We are all black, whether you guys accept it or not.
We are all black, whether you guys accept it or not.
BS. That is BS. If we was all black, why is your culture anti-black? If we was all black, why do Latinos not check black on job applications? You're supposed to be black. Why you Latinos don't check black if you're black? That's BS, okay? They only say that when they're around black people or they're making a video because they don't want you to know that they're racist. And you see the way how she said it? She said it like she believes it. And that's a lie. If we was all black, why did your parents tell you not to date black guys if we was all black? If we was all black, why you don't hire black people at Spanish-owned companies? Why you don't hire black people in them Spanish bodegas on the corner stores in black neighborhoods? We all black, right? Why you don't rent black people apartments if we are all black? Why when a black person go to the bottom of the basement, you know, the building, and the super is a Spanish person, a Spanish guy, and the black person need an application to take it to the management to get an apartment, why he tell you, oh, we don't have nothing, we don't have nothing? And if we was all black, why when someone asks you, a white person or a black person asks you, hey, are you black? Why do you say, no, me no black, me no black, me Hispanic, me Hispanic, me Hispanic, me no black, me no black? I thought you was black. Give me a break.
Guys pick and choose when to pull the race card out. And that's just straight facts. When we hold the people accountable for being racist to the black community,
Guys pick and choose when to pull the race card out. And that's just straight facts. When we hold the people accountable for being racist to the black community,
the Latinos joined with us to benefit themselves off of our struggle. And once they got all they felt that they could get, they disappeared and never mentioned your name again. And now when Latinos struggle, they struggle only as Latinos. They never mention how black people helped them.
What these racist Latinos do is that they use black people to do all the legwork, you know, to fight racism with civil rights and allow not only black people but minorities or non-white people in general all across the states to be able to work, have jobs, go to schools, get some kind of government funding, all of these stuff. Even with school loans and everything, even with low-income housing. That was off the backs of black people, by black people breaking through the system, shutting down some of these racist laws that wouldn't allow minorities to do certain things. So what they do is they use black people to do all the legwork and fight racism. Then once black people open the doors for everybody, every race, now they want to separate themselves and act like they don't know you and be racist and discriminate against you.
And once they got to where they wanted to be, they jumped off the black bandwagon and they never mentioned you again. Gonna use your dumb, multicultural, low self-esteem having ass. They're gonna use you as the front man. and they're going to get all the gains. And once they deplete all the resources from your civil rights and community programs, they're going to jump off your back and act like they never knew you. Lord have mercy. We do not learn from our history.
So we were in class and we were discussing the topic of racism, scientific racism, and just the concept of race in general. And one of my classmates who's Hispanic mentioned how in Hispanic countries racism isn't like really an issue and racism isn't as big of a thing as it is in the United States. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man, I'm Cuban. The most racist shit I've ever heard in my life has come from other Hispanics, especially other Cubans. Like my mom knows this lady who she grew up in Cuba, so she wasn't ever exposed to American-style racism. And she has a daughter who married a dark-skinned Dominican dude. This lady damn near had a goddamn heart attack, bro. Talking about, oh no, how could my daughter be with an N-word? How could my daughter marry an N-word? Like, bitch, what? I mean, I guess you could say that in our countries we're not as physically separated from one another based on race the same way that they are in the United States. But people in Hispanic countries and Hispanics in general just be racist as fuck, like, period. Of course, it's not the majority of us Hispanics, and it's not even close to the majority of us. But it still is very much an issue in our community and in our countries. Like, bro, this one kid that had just come from Cuba in middle school saw this black girl running track, and he looked at me, a fucking black Cuban, and said, oh, even monkeys need exercise, about the girl that was running track. The idea of scientific racism and the idea that there are superior races was invented in America to justify the enslavement of black people, but it's spread throughout the whole world. So the whole world has a racist problem. It's not just an American thing. It's something that has persisted among the whole global.
Dear Latinos, being racist to other Latinos, indigenous, and black folks will not bring you any closer to the whiteness that you crave so much.
Ooh, do I have a story time to share? And let me save you the trouble. If you're one of those people who's like, oh my God, you guys are always complaining. You guys are always looking for a new issue to nitpick. You can scroll past this video because the same way that you're tired of hearing about it, a lot of us are tired of living it. But let's get into the story. So let me set the stage. I was about 21 to 22 years old at the time. I'm 28 now. And I had just started like this part-time office job while I was in college, while I was finishing my degree down in Tribeca. Safe to say, I was not feeling this job already. I was only there about 3 to 4 weeks so far. And it just was giving me bad vibes from the get-go. But nonetheless, I started getting cool with one of the other girls there. She was also new. She was also not really feeling the job, but she was also Latina. She was like Colombiana. And so we decided to get some drinks one day after work. We went to happy hour. I'm about 2 to 3 drinks in, and I decide, I have to go use the restroom. So I go downstairs. On my way back upstairs, this like corporate white guy, that's like the best way that I know how to describe him, suit down, all that stuff, looks at me, tries to hand me his drink as I'm leaving the bathroom, and it's like, hey, can you put another round of drinks on my table? I look at this man, and I'm like, I don't work here. So I go back upstairs to my coworker. I'm obviously annoyed because it's very obvious that I don't work there. The staff there had on a very clear uniform, and they also were all white. So I really wasn't understanding what the confusion was about. He was clearly being a little racist. So I tell my coworker about it, and she's like super supportive. She's like, yeah, F that guy. He was being such a racist a-hole, blah, 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 blah. So we left. As we're leaving the bar, this group of like young black boys, young black men, whatever, kind of try to like hit on her. And now I don't condone catcalling, but what she said next was wild. She shuts them down, and as we're walking away from them, she like kind of murmurs under her breath super quickly, I can't stand esos maldito cocolos, as if I would ever date them. And I was flabbergasted that just came out of her mouth.
Cocolos. It is a very offensive term or word that Latinos use towards black people. It's a racist term. Basically means the N-word, just like negro. Negro means black, but depending on how they use it, it means the N-word. Like if they're mad at you and they call you negro, or if you're a female, they call you negra. It's the same thing, the N-word. Especially if they're mad at you, that's what they mean. So cocolos, how does it sound? Like coconut. Trying to say you like live in the wild, you in the jungle, swinging from trees and eating coconuts. That's what they're trying to say. So it's pretty much the N-word. So you have to know these things because a lot of black people, they live right next door to these racist Latinos, and they don't know that they're racist. If you live in their building or you're their next door neighbor and they don't develop a friendship with you or speak to you, they don't like you because of your ethnicity. Because if you was Spanish or Latino, they'll be going out their way to be your friend, knocking on your door, telling you to come to their house. They're making rice and beans and pork chops, okay? Blasting that music. This is what they would do if you was their people.
If you don't know what cocolo means, pause to read. I was honestly so shocked by what she had just said because of what had literally just happened to me, literally not even 15 minutes ago. And the common excuse that a lot of Latinos will use for this type of behavior is, oh, but you're not really black, it's different, like it's different. No, it's not. The same way that finance bro assumed immediately based off the color of my skin and the texture of my hair that I was the help is the same way that everybody else views me in this country. So for her to use that type of derogatory slur against other black people was so nasty. I literally went home right after that. I didn't even say a word to her. I just left like, girl, bye. And I quit that job literally the following week and never spoke to any of those people ever again. Marielle today would have definitely checked her on the spot, but I just didn't know any better, and all I could do was cut her off.
Dear Latinos, being racist to other Latinos, indigenous, and black folks will not bring you any closer to the whiteness that you crave so much.
Ooh, do I have a story time to share? And let me save you the trouble. If you're one of those people who's like, oh my God, you guys are always complaining. You guys are always looking for a new issue to nitpick. You can scroll past this video because the same way that you're tired of hearing about it, a lot of us are tired of living it. But let's get into the story. So let me set the stage. I was about 21 to 22 years old at the time. I'm 28 now. And I had just started like this part-time office job while I was in college, while I was finishing my degree down in Tribeca. Safe to say, I was not feeling this job already. I was only there about 3 to 4 weeks so far. And it just was giving me bad vibes from the get-go. But nonetheless, I started getting cool with one of the other girls there. She was also new. She was also not really feeling the job, but she was also Latina. She was like Colombiana. And so we decided to get some drinks one day after work. We went to happy hour. I'm about 2 to 3 drinks in, and I decide, I have to go use the restroom. So I go downstairs. On my way back upstairs, this like corporate white guy, that's like the best way that I know how to describe him, suit down, all that stuff, looks at me, tries to hand me his drink as I'm leaving the bathroom, and it's like, hey, can you put another round of drinks on my table? I look at this man, and I'm like, I don't work here. So I go back upstairs to my coworker. I'm obviously annoyed because it's very obvious that I don't work there. The staff there had on a very clear uniform, and they also were all white. So I really wasn't understanding what the confusion was about. He was clearly being a little racist. So I tell my coworker about it, and she's like super supportive. She's like, yeah, F that guy. He was being such a racist a-hole, blah, 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 blah. So we left. As we're leaving the bar, this group of like young black boys, young black men, whatever, kind of try to like hit on her. And now I don't condone catcalling, but what she said next was wild. She shuts them down, and as we're walking away from them, she like kind of murmurs under her breath super quickly, I can't stand eso maldito cocolos, as if I would ever date them. And I was flabbergasted that just came out of her mouth.
Cocolos. It is a very offensive term or word that Latinos use towards black people. It's a racist term. Basically means the N-word, just like negro. Negro means black, but depending on how they use it, it means the N-word. Like if they're mad at you and they call you negro, or if you're a female, they call you negra. It's the same thing, the N-word. Especially if they're mad at you, that's what they mean. So cocolos, how does it sound? Like coconut. Trying to say you like live in the wild, you in the jungle, swinging from trees and eating coconuts. That's what they're trying to say. So it's pretty much the N-word. So you have to know these things because a lot of black people, they live right next door to these racist Latinos, and they don't know that they're racist. If you live in their building or you're their next door neighbor and they don't develop a friendship with you or speak to you, they don't like you because of your ethnicity. Because if you was Spanish or Latino, they'll be going out their way to be your friend, knocking on your door, telling you to come to their house. They're making rice and beans and pork chops, okay? Blasting that music. This is what they would do if you was their people.
If you don't know what cocolo means, pause to read. I was honestly so shocked by what she had just said because of what had literally just happened to me, literally not even 15 minutes ago. And the common excuse that a lot of Latinos will use for this type of behavior is, oh, but you're not really black, it's different, like it's different. No, it's not. The same way that that finance bro assumed immediately based off the color of my skin and the texture of my hair that I was the help is the same way that everybody else views me in this country. So for her to use that type of derogatory slur against other black people was so nasty. I literally went home right after that. I didn't even say a word to her. I just left, like, girl, bye. And I quit that job literally the following week and never spoke to any of those people ever again. Marielle today would have definitely checked her on the spot, but I just didn't know any better, and all I could do was cut her off.
So basically, a racist Latina sent him a message. It's on the top of the screen. She's basically saying that black people are lazy. Now, first of all, let's get this straight. Black people worked for 300 years in America for free, for nothing. No one works harder than a slave, okay? But black people are not working because they don't want to work. The difference between being lazy and just not wanting to do something. The reason why they don't want to work is because the jobs that they're trying to give them are low-paying jobs.
You know, at first I was going to leave this alone because it was like, it's not even worth it. But, actually this is a perfect example of how ridiculous racism from the Hispanic community is towards black people. Because here we have a video, if you guys go back and watch it, where Cornell Robinson is speaking on behalf of the Mexican community. And this person, who was a Mexican woman, decided to take it upon herself to still be anti-black and still come here and talk about how lazy black people are. Baby, black people are not lazy. They worked for free for 500 plus years. And what is happening with the Mexican community is that, unfortunately, this country is exploiting their labor for cheap cost because they can't get black people to do it for free anymore. Your people are being exploited. And you take that as a matter of pride. And I myself, as a Hispanic person who has worked construction, because I have worked doing tile, framing houses, and doing roofing myself, have heard contractors who are white tell us as a labor force that we are better than the black Americans because we actually work. And they're not doing it because we are actually better than the black Americans. They're doing it to keep us in our place and to make us feel like we are better than. And you bought that. You bought that lie. And you ran with it. You're being exploited. Your people are being exploited and given minimum of the cost that black Americans would expect, because black Americans are not going to work for that the way that you work, for that cheap. That's the thing about it that you guys don't get. You're mad at black Americans, not realizing that the people taking advantage of you are Americans. Come on now.
All I'm saying, and all I'm going to say, is I don't want to hear no American saying how Hispanics take my jobs, Mexicans take all our jobs. DeSantis passed that law for y'all. Go get your jobs back. I want to see you in the fields picking that fruit and them vegetables. I want to see you on them construction sites building them houses in these buildings. Let me see you pushing the mop and pushing the broom. Let me see you take care of your own children. My people come here to work. And y'all say y'all want to work. Here's your chance.
Remember Florida. What they've done was they stopped non-documented migrants or illegals from working. So they shut down all the construction sites. So she's pretty much saying that white people and black people are lazy. Because you got them to stop working with the illegals while the work is not getting done. This is how they think.
Come here. I need all my Mexicans, my Latinos, and my Spaniards to come here. Let me talk to y'all right quick. Let me explain something to y'all right quick. See, in the video, the young lady was stating that, I need these Americans that said that they don't need us to come on and do what we was doing, right? Let me explain something to y'all. What y'all was doing, see, us as brown people, because see, this here is black right here. This is a steering wheel and it's black. I don't even look like that. What y'all was doing, we done already did. Us brown people, we done already did it. See, y'all, at least y'all had a choice. Y'all had a choice. Y'all got a choice to get up and leave. We didn't have that choice. See, y'all had a choice to pick fruit vegetables. We didn't have that choice. We had to pick that cotton. See, y'all had a choice to watch their kids if y'all wanted to. We didn't have a choice. See, we had to watch their children. We had to, our ancestors had to watch their children. Our ancestors had to have their children and nurse their children on our ancestors' breasts. Our ancestors had to leave their kids. Our ancestors had to be disconnected from their children, and they didn't know where their children were. Y'all had a choice. See, y'all had a choice to build those houses. See, we didn't have that choice. We didn't have that choice. We had to build it. We had to stay in those fields. We had to do those things. So when y'all sit back and y'all think about what y'all had a choice to do and what the Americans, the African American people didn't have a choice to do, I want y'all to sit down and really think about it. Think about the fact that I had a choice. And yet we still have racism, because I just seen a Latino woman downgrading brown-skinned people like myself and saying that we're lazy and we steal. Nah, we're not lazy and we don't steal. We just already did what you guys we did it already. You guys were doing it, and we already did it. See, we made this country. We built this country. Our ancestors, my ancestors, built this country. My ancestors made it so that they could use the toilet. My ancestors made it so that a car could stop at a stop sign. My ancestors made it so that they could eat peanut butter. My ancestors made it so that you could have a pave. My ancestors made it so that the things that they needed in their lives to adjust washers and dryers and all this GPSs, we already did it. So I know y'all gonna be strong and y'all gonna accomplish what y'all need to accomplish out of this.
There is no black and brown coalition. They don't want to unite with you, okay? And the reason for this is because they feel as if they was to unite with black people, black men will have access to Latinas, and they're trying to avoid that. Because if they form a coalition with you, or if they unite with you, Latinas are going to feel like it's okay for them to date black guys. And Latino males do not want that to happen. So they're trying to keep you away from their females. That's why they don't want to unite with you. You keep saying white supremacy. That has nothing to do with white supremacy.
What's up with all the black people saying that nobody can say the N-word, Latinos can't say the N-word? You have effectively marketed that word and sold it. You have turned it into a cultural item. It's in every comedy show. It's in every movie. It's in every music.
The way that you're not embarrassed to come on here and fight just to be a scavenger. Scavenging off someone else's culture, it needs to be studied. Could you imagine if black people casually walked around calling each other wetback? Hey, what's up, my wetback? I bet you wouldn't like that. You should be focused on combating the issues impacting your own people, like ICE raids and illegal deportations. If only Mexicans and Hispanics who fight so hard to say the N-word put that same energy into fighting for your own rights, the same way you fight so hard to leech off of a culture that isn't even yours. It's truly pathetic. Assimilation is still so ingrained in so many weak-minded Mexicans and Hispanics that you take pride in wearing the identities of other people because you have no pride in your own. Instead of embracing your own culture, you scavenge off others, in this case black culture, hoping proximity to blackness will make you relevant, cool, and maybe even powerful, because most of us are aware of the global impact of black culture. Flex your own culture with the same energy that you try to flex black culture, and just keep it moving, because this is embarrassing. And before anybody says that no one should be using the N-word, that is none of your business unless you're black, and that is for the black community to decide and no one else.
Latinos are inherently racist. I can't believe I'm having this conversation again, but I just seen a video of a Cuban girl who is, might I add, white passing as all hell. And yes, I said Cuban, so it's pretty self-explanatory as to why she thinks the way she does, because Cubans are one of the worst. And this is coming from a Latina, so I'm gonna yap and talk my shit, okay? The fact that she thought it was cool to literally broadcast that she says the N-word and she doesn't see the issue with it and that you guys are just crybabies is absolutely insane. Girl, You literally will never understand because the color of your skin lets you into places and spaces that make you feel comfortable. You literally have found proximity to white people, and in that proximity, you became weird. But need I remind people yet again, proximity does not equal whiteness. At the end of every single day, you are still a Latina, even if it doesn't really show. And at the end of every day, they think they should deport you. But you feel like because you came here legally, like, let's not use that word too loosely, that you're one of the privileged ones. When on any given day, a Caucasian person wouldn't be able to tell the difference between you and a Mexican, a Puerto Rican, a Ecuadorian, whatever have you. We are one and the same. But you found this new proximity that makes you feel like you are not. And it's honestly just gross. It's really, really gross. And doing it for clicks and views and just being an overall moron in your stance is just weird. But once again, Cuban from Florida. Do I need to say more?
This for all you Latino influencers that be on the Lord's internet talking about black people. Where are you at, black people? Why aren't you marching with us, black people? Out on the National Mall, y'all. I see this Spanish chick, about 400 pounds, posing with her MAGA hat on in front of the president's banner, right? And Chloe, she was not making Good American. The photo shoot, she was not making a cut. Photo, she just posing. Click, click, click. How about y'all get your people in line? Stop worrying about black people. Get your people in line. Okay? Because half of them voted for it. So stop worrying about black people. Okay? Do your own work for once. Okay? And I just thought of one more thing. They always talk about black people. Where you at, black people? You don't hear them saying, white people, why aren't you marching with us? Asian people, why aren't you marching with us? Pacific Islander, why aren't you marching with us? Everybody think black people owes them our labor. We already sacrificed for the Civil Rights Act that all of y'all benefited from. Right? All you community of colors and women. So I just thought about that. Just the audacity. Why don't y'all ask white people to help grow? Why don't y'all say that? Why don't you say Muslims? Why aren't you marching with us? What this got to do with black people?
She's going to convince black people that they are not racist. So she's going to, basically try to make you believe that they're not racist.
Unfortunately, I've been seeing a lot of discord recently in regards to the black community not believing that brown people are for them and will back them up. I'm here to let you know that that is just not true on my end. I want to say probably even on just California in general, most of us, especially Mexican, if you know that you're speaking to a Mexican person, because there are different people who are not just Mexican, FYI, majority of Mexicans definitely stand up for black people. We, more than anyone in our Latino community, understand the struggles that you go through, understand the stereotypes that you guys go through. Unfortunately, we understand the police stuff that you guys go through. We just don't talk about it because, for some reason, Latinos feel like if we mention any hardships that we go through, that's us crying and begging for whatever it is that they think. But that's the older generation. That's not the millennials and people that are younger. So I'm here to just say those comments that I keep seeing is not true. Because if you are a black person, trust me, I will always have your back. I am always standing up for black people. That is just what I've been raised around. The neighborhoods I grew up were predominantly black. A lot of my friends that I have are predominantly black. So it sucks to see those type of comments because they are so false in my world. But I'm not disregarding some people who have come across racist Latinos, because clearly my community needs to do better because, again, remember, Mexicans mainly voted for Kamala Harris. A lot of the other ones did not. So which is why I say you can truly count on most Mexicans to be by your side. The others, I'm not in their world, but I feel like you can still say that in all of those groups, from Salvadoran to Honduran to Cuban to Venezuelan, like, there's just a list of Latinos. But I feel like I can say at least half of those people are definitely for you, especially because a lot of you guys don't understand that there are black Latinos, especially in Mexico. Did you guys know that Mexico was was the main point of view to allow slaves to become free? We did not agree. We didn't believe in what the U.S. was doing, meaning my country, my motherland. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm just here to let you know that you have a brown person that you can believe is by your side, that you can believe will have your back and will fight for you and will stand up and even possibly hold you high just to make sure that you are seen. Because I understand that black women right now, black women are like above everybody. And I see that. I know that, especially when you go down history. I may not be good with my dates, but I do know history. And I do know that when I read upon these things, there's always a black woman behind most of these movements. So, again, you're false if you believe that you think that every brown person is hateful, is racist, is a bigot. I'm here to tell you that you're wrong. You're wrong. There are some of us that are for you guys. There are those of us that are willing to fight your fight because alongside California black people have shown brown communities that together we are stronger, which is what when you hear in the marching chants, Juntos unidos somos más fuertes, that's exactly what it translates to. Together we are stronger. So I hope that if you are somebody who believes that you are not backed up by a brown person, that you change your mind and that you see that there are people like myself and so many others that will have your back. Again, I was raised in a predominantly black neighborhood. The parents, the grandparents, pretty much raised me and taught me so much of the history that I do know. And I can also say that because of that, I'm having to work on not being so hateful against white people because I know that since I've been little, it's been a very confusing thing. With the older generation, again, I do understand that some of them are racist because of the beliefs that were put in us in the countries that we were from. The countries that were raided by Spaniards, by the French, by whatever Caucasian white person that you see. They tried teaching a lot of people that white meant better, that white meant achievement, that white meant more power. And that is just not true. I cannot wait for the day where I start to see more black and brown people in the government. And I'm talking about those who actually grew up in hardships because those people tend to not forget about us, forget about the real people. Because I do know that there are black and brown people, both, where they've been out of the game. They've been out of these hoods and do not understand and will blame us and our ghetto-ness. So, I just hope I'm able to change your mind. I hope I'm able to turn your comments into, okay, not all Latinos are for us, but there are some. There are at least, I would like for you to say that there are more so who will be by your side than not. Because, again, this might have something to do with my child as being black, but his father is black. And I make sure to teach him his history on that end as well as mine. So, yeah, no, a lot of you guys are wrong. Brown people definitely will be by your side, making sure that you're protected.
Latinos, you don't have much time left. If you're going to unite with black people, you're going to have to do it now. If not, you could forget about it, okay? Because too much time is going by, and more black people are making videos about you, exposing the racism and the anti-blackness in your culture. And black people keep saying, they're our people, we're the same. No. You know, they're more closer to Indians as far as the way they think, the mental. The way they treat black people lines up exactly the same how Indians treat black people. And they both tell their daughters the same thing about black guys. They tell them, don't date them. Stay away from them. They're bad. They're in gangs. They don't take care of their kids. And they also tell them, once you go black, you become a single mother. The way Indians and Latinos think towards black people and teach their children, everything lines up. It's the exact same way.
I am speaking my truth. I'm half black and I'm half Honduran. But obviously, I understand I look very much more Honduran, and that is how society treats me, and that's fine, I get it. But here's my problem. I only grew up with the black side of my family. So I'm not very connected with being Hispanic, being Latina. Me gusta tu tierra. Okay, like that's not my upbringing. Okay, like no. So my pet peeve is when I try to talk to people in Spanish and then they get so mad at me in return after I try to help you when you ask me a question, because I can speak a little bit. People get so mad. And it's like, girl, I'm literally just trying to be nice. Like, and then I have to rehash my whole upbringing and explain, okay, well, yes, like I am half Hispanic. Or sometimes I even lie and I just say that I'm not to avoid the whole conversation. Because for some reason, it's just like people take it so personally sometimes that like, oh, her Spanish isn't perfect. And it's like, okay, why would it be? I didn't grow up with that side of my family at all. At all. Culturally, not where I align. But it is what it is. So I have to speak my truth and just say people got to stop judging people by what's on the outside. Like, I don't know people's upbringings. They don't know my upbringing, and that's fine, okay? Like, who cares? But I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to get mad at you for something like that. So anyways, rant over. Just had to get that off my chest because
the reason why non-black people come to the United States and immediately exhibit signs of anti-blackness is because they are told and they believe that as long as they can assimilate to the dominant culture of white supremacy, that will make them closer to whiteness. That will get them closer to whiteness. And not only does that occur internationally because anti-blackness is global, it occurs domestically as well. So they believe that if they come over here, they have to, and they believe it. They believe these things that are being told of them of black people the whole time we built this country. Coach Rama won't be none of y'all without us, quite literally. Not figuratively. But y'all get told that the closest that y'all can get to whiteness is through the pipeline of white supremacy. That's why you have Indians who are 80 shades darker than me hating black people. That's why you have a black man on this app telling Hispanics y'all can't say the N-word, and then his comments talking about fried chicken. Fried chicken, that is a stereotype of African Americans. Who told y'all that? Let's talk about it. Who told you that? Who taught you that? Because y'all choose to assimilate. Because y'all choose to take the dominant culture and forget everything that y'all got going on with y'all culture and take the dominant culture and run with it. And y'all so damn dumb and y'all don't and indoctrinated. Y'all don't understand when y'all have been hoodwinked and bamboozled. Y'all have been hoodwinked and bamboozled and tricked into hatred, and look at what y'all going through now. And y'all the same people that call on black people to save y'all. We told y'all on November 5th we weren't saving y'all. And we made that promise to y'all, and we've kept it for months. Keep our names out y'all mouths, because y'all have been hoodwinked and love it. Y'all love to be indoctrinated because maybe it makes y'all feel a sense of patriotic sense of, oh, let's exhibit white supremacy. Let's hate on black people because that's what the world do. That's what the world does. Y'all gonna see that he who laughs first laughs last. But y'all choose whiteness. Y'all choose assimilation. And that's y'all problem. The majority of Latinos in this country are racist. And I don't care how many racist things y'all say, how many racist things y'all do, you will never be white. You will never be white. And the fact that y'all look at whiteness as supreme and superior is the problem. No amount of assimilation to white culture is going to ever make them accept you, like you, want you, or look at you as one of theirs. The fact that you think whiteness is superior is your problem.
Stop with the policing of how black people celebrate when they graduate college. And stop policing how Latinos celebrate after pursuing higher education as well. Stop. Literally stop it. Now, if someone is causing a problem, I understand. But these videos that you guys are nitpicking, there's no problems going on. Everybody's celebrating, everybody's joining in, everybody's laughing, everybody not laughing at the person, laughing with them, like laughing in enjoyment and having fun. And you could see them, they're recording them because they're seeing one of their peers walk the fucking stage and get their fucking bachelor, master's, PhD, whatever it is, get get their fucking shit that they've worked hard for. And you see them joining in, and some of them will join in and start dancing. And then you're like, ooh, it's ghetto to be drinking champagne. Okay, first of all, since when was champagne ghetto? And second of all, why is alcohol ghetto if black people are drinking it, or if Latino people are drinking alcohol? But it's classy when these colored people do similar things. But see, they don't land like how the black community and how the Latino community lands when it comes to the way that we dress, the way that we dance, the way that we think, the way that we are, because our cultures are so different from yours, right? And of course, obviously, black culture and Latino culture here in America are different, but there is a lot of crossover. There's a lot of crossover. So y'all need to fucking pipe the fuck down, because it's your racism is showing, bitch. And to any and all of the graduates of 2025, whether it was college, high school, middle school, you got your certificate to start teaching, you passed your bar exam with flying colors, whatever the case may be. If you are a graduate of this year and you are a black or Latino person, I'm extra proud of you. These colored people, sure, I'm proud of you. As long as you're not part of that whole conversation of policing what other cultures do and calling it trashy, while when y'all guys do it, it's classy. So, stop it.
So in this first clip, you want to hear the Latino guy say you are lazy. He's talking about black people. No money for you. They don't want you to get reparations. They believe that you are lazy. But yet black people are running around calling them their brothers and sisters. My Latino brothers and sisters. That's what you keep saying. When have you heard them say the same about you? You never heard them say my black brothers and sisters. Why? Because they do not feel the same way about you as you feel about them. You love them, but they don't love you back.
No more money for you. You want it. No more money for you. Bye-bye. Go back. No more money for you. It's lazy. You lazy. No more money for you.
You know what? I have to remake this video because I need to reiterate. Y'all don't know what the word racism means. Racism and prejudice are not the same thing. And when I say Hispanic people practice racism, this is what I mean. You Hispanic people do not hire black people. And y'all do this on purpose. That is a racist practice. That's what I talk about racism. I live in Los Angeles. Y'all have every job. Y'all have all the jobs. Y'all have jobs everywhere. The bank, the grocery store, customer service. Y'all have jobs everywhere. Insurance. Y'all have the jobs. Because y'all only hire y'all people. I remember being 18 years old. I was in college at CSUN. I wanted to get a job. I went to go get a job in the pavilions in Sherman Oaks. All Hispanic manager. He said, hey, I usually only hire my people. Mind you, this is 2011. Hey, I usually only hire my own people, but I like you, so I'll hire you. They hired another Hispanic girl the same age as me, whatever. I don't think she was in college, but the same age as me. They moved her up to cashier so fast while I was still pushing carts in the bakery. Then I asked him why. He said, oh, because she
you know, she got a baby, she got this, that, and the other, you know, whatever. I didn't really care because I knew that wasn't going to be my life anyway. I knew I was going to become a therapist, and I just didn't even give a fuck. But that's the thing. Another story. What is this? 2017 or something like that? Las Vegas. My brother worked at the bank. All Hispanics, right? They unlawfully fired him. Unlawfully fired him. The only black dude there, right? And my brother is not no fucking YN nigga. My brother is a stand-up guy, and he knows how to go to work. He had to hire a lawyer to fight them, won the law case, got his job back, and then quit on them, and then went to get another job because we petty like that. That is what I mean by racist practices. Come to LA. You know who's in the kitchen? The Hispanics. The Roscoe. You know who's in the Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles? Hispanics. 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 Okay? And then they try to lie and say, oh, it's because Hispanic. They try to say the majority of the population is Hispanic and that's why they have all the jobs, which is not true. Because if it still doesn't, the statistics still don't equal out. Black people do not have no jobs out here. I think the only place black people work is like the airport. And the black people that do work with the Hispanics, you gotta be damn near my color, lighter, or biracial. Like, this is not a game. That is what I mean by racist practices, okay? Please read a book and learn how to conceptualize. And even saying that doesn't make any sense because when you are privileged, you have a blind spot. You just can't see it. You can't see it. You cannot see it. So when you Hispanics try to come in my comments and defend yourselves, that's how I know that you are not, you're not smart up here. Y'all want to reconcile without taking accountability, and it doesn't work like that. And don't get in my comments talking about, well, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the collective. Stop trying to personalize a sociological issue. Okay? Relax.
I think it's funny how everybody's true colors are coming out, especially the black people.
A few moments later.
Oh, and since you want to learn Spanish so bad, tú eres una puta gorda que aparte de negra eres blanca.
And it only took you 3 seconds flat for you to show your true colors after coming on this app and being a beggar, begging for help from the black community. If you're going to call someone a fat black WHO, don't cower behind a coded language. Say it to their face.
Black people, because y'all are quick to forget what country you guys fled to shelter when you were slaves. You're quick to forget when Black Lives Matters movement was happening, who was right there next to y'all.
I can guarantee that it wasn't you, boo-boo. Most of y'all like to parrot this one talking point about Mexico, but never talk about how slavery was abolished by a black indigenous president named Vicente Guerrero. He also helped liberate Mexico from Spain, but what did more conservative Mexicans do to their black indigenous president after they were done using him to gain liberation? They executed him because he was pushing for Afro-Indigenous equality. After Mexicans used him to gain their liberation, they backstabbed him, and it tracks to this day. Ma'am, the easiest, most effective thing that you can do to protect yourself and preserve your rights is to vote, and the Latino community couldn't even do that. Latinos largely voted for your own oppression, and now you have the audacity to think the black community is obligated to help you fix what you broke. Latinos, the call...
We traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. You hear me? It's coming from inside the house.
Fix your own house, Latinos.
So many Latinos act like white folks just decided to give Latinos rights, just decided to let Latinos vote, just decided to put laws in place so that you could buy property. If it wasn't for black leaders Latinos wouldn't even be able to bring their kids to a public school. We have a lot of the privileges that we have today because of the Civil Rights Act, because of the Fair Housing Act, because of Voting Rights Act, which for those of you Latinos who voted for Trump, you're welcome. If you are Latino, you better recognize the gift that we were just handed from Black people. So it actually makes sense that more Latinos voted for this president because you didn't have to work for the rights that you were just handed. And don't worry, I will be talking about immigration too, but for right now, I just want to give Black people their flowers. I want to give Black artists their flowers. I want to give Black culture their flowers, because if it wasn't for them, I would not be who I am. Happy, beautiful, beautiful Black History Month from this Latina and most Latinos that have common sense.